So, if you've been playing around in AI at all since this whole thing started, you're probably familiar with ChatGPT, maybe Microsoft Copilot, maybe even Google Gemini, and there's probably other tools you've explored or heard about as well. But the one tool that I think is really not getting the attention that it deserves is Perplexity AI. Okay, so now you're thinking, great, another AI tool for me to look into. Isn't 2 or 3 or 5 enough? Well, maybe, maybe not. Let me give you a little bit of insight before I show you some of the cool things that Perplexity AI can do that it's better suited for than some of the other tools you may have been using. I don't really spend a lot of time in Google Gemini for exactly the same reason. I just don't have time to be playing in 5 or 6 different AI tools when I have already found the tools that give me pretty much everything I need so far. So, in my personal opinion, I tend to lean towards Microsoft Copilot, especially when I'm asking questions specifically about Microsoft products. And I'll tend to lean on ChatGPT, especially their latest 4 Omni model, when I'm trying to get pure content generated. So I need help writing something, I need help explaining something, content generation of some kind. But when the task is pure research, especially research that involves leveraging all of the content that's on the web, Perplexity AI has some really cool tricks up its sleeve. Let me show you. Now, before I show you my first example, I want you to understand that pretty much like every other AI tool that's available out there, there is the free version, which is what I'm showing you right now, and then there is a paid version that usually gives you access to a better quality language learning model, better quality features, etc. This is true for pretty much every AI tool you can use. Yes, in case you're wondering, I am paying for the upgraded version of one AI tool, and in this case, I decided to go with ChatGPT Plus. But what's really neat about Perplexity AI is that you can get access to the pro version of things without even paying for it, so long as you're okay being limited to using it only a few times within a short span of time. So for example, if the question I'm about to ask requires the best version of Perplexity that exists, I can turn this little pro switch on before I ask my question, and as it says in the little pop-up, I can use the pro search 5 times before it won't let me use it anymore, but then it also says it'll reload those 5 searches every 4 hours. So, you'd be a fool not to use this option for free. The next thing I'd like you to know is that although you could just ask your question and let Perplexity figure out where it's going to need to get its sources from, you can also help it along. So, for example, if I wanted to ask a question about what is the latest science we've learned in the last 3 years about the electron, I could just leave that question as is, or I could go into this focus button and say, I don't want you to search across the entire internet for the answer to this question. I want you to focus on Wolfram Alpha as the source, or academic papers, or YouTube, or Reddit. Now, I think academic papers would probably be the best option to choose here as my focus, so let's give that a try and see what happens. Now, I honestly don't know how much of a difference changing the focus before posing the question actually made in the answer that it provided, but based on the sources that are listed here, it seems that it is in fact using published scientific journals to answer the question, which is fantastic, if I care. And of course, just like any other AI tool, I have the ability to ask a follow-up question if I have more, and it will even offer me related questions that I can then just automatically ask by clicking on them in case those are follow-up questions that I'd be interested in asking next on the same topic. But for now, I want to go back to the drawing board because this time I want to try asking the same question, but I'm not going to filter or focus on academic sources only. I'm going to switch back to all and then pose the question again. Again, keeping it in pro mode and then asking the question. Now I'm getting different sources. As you can see, these are web pages, not scientific journals. And you'll notice that the answers are different too. And the reason the answers are different is because the scope of the search is much bigger now than it was when I limited it to scientific papers. Because you got to realize it may not have access to all scientific papers, just the ones that have been made public. Whereas at least if I'm using the entire internet to go looking for the answer to this question, I'm probably going to have access to a lot more information, including science websites and so on and so forth. All right, for my next trick, I am going to go looking for great places to eat in Pacific Beach, a neighborhood in San Diego. Now, I don't want the focus on the whole web because I don't want to be bombarded with potentially biased answers from like travel magazines or, foodie magazines that may have been paid off by the places that they're recommending. I want to get my answers from regular people like you and me. So I'm going to change the focus to Reddit and then ask the question. And sure enough, you see that the sources being used to answer my question are all coming from Reddit, which is fantastic. Let's see if I recognize any of these places. Yeah, I do. But I'm also seeing names of places I've not been to yet, so this is going to be helpful for the next time I go to San Diego. Since I'm a big fan of burgers, again, I'm only querying Reddit users, and here are, according to Reddit members, the best places to go in Pacific Beach for a burger. For my last trick, I'm going to go looking for a new Chromebook. I've changed my focus back to all, and now I'm going to compose my prompt. Here we go. I'm looking for a new Chromebook and quality hardware, a fast CPU, and a backlit keyboard are most important to me. What 5 models would you suggest? Here we go. Now, I can very quickly look at some of the sources that are being offered to me, and based on my criteria, these are some models that are being recommended to me. It's kind of interesting looking at these suggestions because a couple of these models are models I am actually considering buying based on my own private research which took a lot longer to conduct than what I just pulled off right here. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but maybe I'm actually looking for answers from people who've actually taken the time to review this kind of hardware on YouTube. So I'm going to switch my focus to YouTube and ask the question again. And now my sources are all coming from YouTube. And as you can see, as a result, I'm getting completely different answers. Well, the Chrome Flex 5i from Lenovo is still on the list, but now I'm being offered different models based on people who have actually uploaded YouTube reviews about these particular machines. And the best part? The videos that this information were taken from are available to watch right from this screen. So just to conclude, if you're looking for an AI tool that is more about pure research and getting answers from the web, and especially specific parts of the web, you might want to give Perplexity AI a try. It's free. You get access to some pro features until you run out of your limitations, which will refresh themselves after 4 hours. And it's a refreshing change from being stuck using Gemini, ChatGPT, and Copilot. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.